Hello and welcome to the second edition of Migrants as Messengers show coming to you on iAfrica TV, and I am Julde Njai-Suare. Many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Migrants as Messengers is a program that seeks to create awareness on migration and related issues. But before we start the program proper, I have two gentlemen here, and of course a lady joining me on the program today to discuss about migration and of course related matters. Good afternoon. I have Sekou Suare Jabai on my left. He is the communication officer at IOM, and of course I have Rosamond Erika Johnson, who is a migrant returnee, and I have Alaji Kamara on my far right, who is also a migrant returnee. Good afternoon, gentlemen and a lady.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. We will start with Sekou Suare Jabai, who is the communication officer at IOM. Mr. Suare, tell us, what are the push and pull factors, of irregular migration?
Thank you very much, Julia. Just to put it on record, I am the communications and awareness raising assistant at IOM, working under the communications unit. So, talk about the push and pull factors of irregular migration. So these are, of course, migration is a dynamic issue. So when you look at the push and pull factors, these are referring to factors that influence one's decision to migrate. So just as the name implies, when you talk about push factors, you are looking at factors in the person's country of origin that influence his or her decision to migrate, and pull factors, as the name implies, pulling someone. These are factors in a person's country of a potential migrant's country of destination that influence him or her to take on the migration journey. So in the context of irregular migration, we are referring to factors back home. In the case of the Gambia, factors in the Gambia that influence one to migrate, and pull factors equally, factors in their country, potential country of destination. Say, for example, Europe, things that are in Europe and are probably not in the Gambia that are motivating them to travel. So these factors are numerous, and they are critical players of the migration issue. Because these factors are the underlying issues that influence individuals' decision to migrate, and they can be categorized under various elements. For example, some of these factors in both push and pull can be economic factors. They can be social factors. They can be physical factors. So there are basically quite a lot of factors that are basically responsible. And if you ask, for example, these two returnee migrants who are also volunteers of our Migrants as Messengers initiative, you realize that they are also motivated to travel by one of these factors. And it can, your decision to migrate can be a pull factor, it can be a push factor. Alternatively, it may also be both, right? Okay. So at the level of IOM, we believe these are the drivers of individuals' decision to migrate.
So what is your role in raising awareness of the risks involved or associated with irregular migration?
So IOM as an institution has been doing quite a lot of work in terms of raising awareness. Our communications unit, and not only that, but other units of the mission, have been doing incredibly well in terms of ensuring that people are giving the right information. And we are of the view that some of these factors are motivating factors, because potential migrants don't necessarily have the right information. So we believe ensuring that they know some of these issues would help them in terms of raising their awareness on the decision they take, right? So we've been using diverse mechanisms. For example, under the Migrants as Messengers initiative, these volunteers have been engaged in a variety of strategies, both online strategies, offline strategies, community engagements, and individual initiatives as well, in ensuring that they reach all the parts of the country and informing young people about. The interesting thing about it in this case is the fact that we are using evidence-based awareness-raising strategies. For example, these migrant returnees who are back in the country now, using them to tell their stories and ensuring that the people are rightly informed about the situations they face. I think that's an incredible idea. But not only that, we've been doing quite a lot of activities, working with the government, working with the civil society, working with individuals in the arts sector, working with traditional communicators and various individuals to ensure that our informations are given to the right individuals in their bid to receive the right information to make informed choices in relation to their migration decisions.
Well, very well. That's very important. I'll just go to Rosamond. Rosamond, tell us, as a migrant returnee, what was the push and pull factor that really inspired you to embark on this journey?
Well, I would say the push factor was because I lost my job, because I'm an accountant by profession. So the fact that I lost my job and I'm like the breadwinner of my family, so I have to be pushed out to go there to make ends meet in order to take care of them. And what pulls me to the particular place I wanted to go was because I see that many people are there that I am more qualified than, but they are working. So I was looking at it as an other way that if I go there, I will work more than them.
Okay, that's very important. But could you just briefly tell us what was some of the, what was your story? Because you're a migrant returnee, and a lot of people will encounter a lot of things in their journey. So what was your own story?
Well, sad to say my story was not good at all, because like when I left, what I was expecting and what I saw, it's a two different thing. I was in prison for 6 months and I was managed to escape. Upon my escape, when I jumped over the fence, when I landed on top of a bottle which caught my leg. So in order to keep me going, I just have to take off my clothes and tie the foot. And I keep moving in the desert. If I move and encounter any of these bandit people coming, I have to hide under dead bodies just to save my life. I was there for over a week till I happened to reach to a set destination and continue my journey. I went up to the Tripoli, I paid my money to cross. But there is this Sauli man that I met there, an old dad, that told me that I should not cross. And he said a parable to me that if I cross the water, there is a light in front of me that will be turned off. So like me being adamant, I was arguing with him. So he had to hit me on the head. So me trying to argue with him why should he hit me, the boat took off. And I've already paid my money. So I was angry at him. In space of 5 minutes, the boat capsized, everybody died. So that was how I was saved. Hadn't been because of him, I will not be alive today.
Wow, that's really a sad story there. But what do you wish you knew prior to leaving this country?
If I had known about the various opportunities we have here, I would not have risked my life. If I had given the chance, like the chance we are giving to others now, I will not have risked my life, because there are so many things that we can benefit here. We cannot know it till we leave the Gambia. The freedom we have here, we cannot have it elsewhere.
Okay. All right, so if you were informed, you would not have embarked on a journey like this. Yeah. So with that, I move on to Mr. Kamara. Mr. Kamara, you're also a migrant returnee. Quickly tell us what your story was.
My story was like I was a young businessman, working in Serekunda market, I started like in 2014, so I was there like to 2015. So I'm used to go and bring vegetables in Senegal in a very small scale, so I did that, for 1 year, 4 months. So, but like later, like these two governments, they have problem like Senegal and Gambia. So these are the push factors make me to leave this country. So, but at the end of the day, these two countries, when they have problem, for us to bring vegetables in this country, it was a big problem, because at the end of the day, when we bring vegetables, they charge us at a higher rate, which was like it started bringing problems to us, because of like when you are paying like $100, at the end of the day, because of this problem, you are paying like $5,000 for you to cross. So this was a problem, for us to, when we want to bring vegetables, it was a problem. So what we decided, we said that, we need to make a strategy, and which strategy we make a plan to say that, we need to smuggle. This smuggle, we passed through Kerpate, like Badibu. So this, we did this thing, but I was caught there, said that they took like 18,600. You understand? So before they took this 18,600 from me, so I explained them, I'm a young businessman, so this is my work. You understand? So I was even crying for them to have a sympathy on me, but they said that no, because if I don't pay this money, I have to go to jail in Samet, So I saw that because I know that these people, they're for real. At later part, I gave them the money. So I said that I will not discourage, because this is my work and very young. I took the normal route. I go to Karang, but this Duaj from Tubakoto, again, they caught me and take 11,000 from me. So the third time, I said that, so when they took this money from me, I spent like 2 days there. So my vegetables started spoiling. I took this vegetable to Kaulak. I sell it there. So, but when I sell it there, the price was not good. You understand? So I said that not to be discouraged, because it's twice, as a businessman, sometimes, God tests you to see your faith, So I go back again, meaning the third time, So, but the third time when I go, I talk to these authorities like the Duanes, I talk to them, I tell them, my story about like twice, I've been trying, but they've taken money from me, you understand? So, which is very sad, because being the elder of the family, you understand? So all the financial, aspect was on my shoulders, you understand? So that's what I did, I explained them so they understand, but what they told me, they tell me that, you have to give us like $6,000 at the end of the day, because midnight, because Gambia and Senegal right now, they are having problem, you understand, because you people know that, so why don't you people stay? But, we tell them, this is our work, you understand, so we have to do it. So he told me that, wait till around midnight or 1 o'clock, I will come and, so I can give you weight so that you can go and sell your vegetables. But at the end of the day, I don't see him. So meaning they told me that, he have to go for 3 days before he come back in office. So I said that, this is vegetables, when I keep them there, when I keep them here, at the end of the day, it's going to be a problem, because in Senegal, we have agents there who normally give us these vegetables. At the end of the day, we go and sell them. We take our profit and give them their money. And it is worth of like, sometimes we went up to like 4 million safe, sometimes 3 million plus, you understand? So it is a big money. So at the end of the day, when it is spoiled, I was not able to pay it. So, I took it again to Kaulak and go and sell it. So at the end of the day, I discouraged, I said that, I have to leave this country, because I'm not seeing myself in this country again, because I'm working. And these two governments, their problem is their problem, but they don't know what we are encountering in the ground. So this make me to leave this country,
Now you are actually hustling, to make ends meet for yourself and for your family, but because of, maybe what transpired between the two governments, you had to go use the bag way to travel. But then how did you come to meet up with IOM, and then how were they able to help you?
All right.
Like in Libya, like I spent like 2 prisons there before like meeting the IOM. The first one, entering Libya, I was caught by these bandits, So I was took at the desert, So I spent like 2 months, 5 days there. So, but later I escaped from their custody, So we were 5 in number, and they are all Gambians. So like we went to a place called Bahe. So from Bahe we spent like 2 weeks. We proceeded to Tripoli. So Tripoli, I was there for 3 weeks, I was left only like 3 days for me to go to the sea so that I can cross. So, but I was caught again by the soldiers, So they took me like in a screening place from the screening place, they took me to the Minister of Interior. Minister of Interior, they took us to these detention centers. But for us, we call it as prison, because for us, we don't do any crime. You didn't steal, you didn't do anything, but they kept you in a place which that is very horrible. You understand? A place which that even like we can say like you put you're supposed to put like 100 people, but you put like 300 people. So these are the things which that we were facing. So we normally call them prison. So we were there for 1 month. Later IOM come to our rescue. Because at the beginning the food we were eating, it was was not good. We were not eating a proper. We were not eating a proper food. At the beginning, especially water to drink was a problem. For you to sleep is a problem. So people are sick in that place. Some people there were having TB. Some people, they were shot, in the prison. So those injuries started smelling in the prison. So we are having problem. People are sick in the prison. But later, IOM came to our rescue. Tell us, we want to help you people in the sense like, if anybody want to go to, your various countries, voluntary is not a force. We are not forcing anyone. So you can come and write your name. You understand? Because we realize in that prison, we have different nationality. You understand? Like 6 nationality we had kept there. You understand? So because every day we were being beaten, facing things which that is what not appropriate to us. So we decided to go home in the help of IOM.
That's really inspiring story after all the difficulties. But then, Mr. Jabai, but that takes me to this question. What is the relationship between the migrant returnees and, of course, IOM?
So it has been really cordial from the beginning. IOM as a mission. IOM as a mission started operating in the Gambia in 2017. And but even before that, it's working there. There were representatives of IOM in the Gambia even before 2017. But it was in 2017 that we started having a fully fledged office in the Gambia. And from 2017 to now, we've done quite a lot of work in terms of collaborating with migrant returnees, as in helping to bring them to Gambia. But not only that, but also when they're in Gambia, working with them in the reintegration process. So this is a complex issue. It involves a lot of issues, as in we work with them to ensure that we provide the services they need. Say, for example, mental health and psychosocial support for those who might need that. Some of these volunteers would need services like that. And apart from that, we also have a reintegration assistance that we offer to migrant returnees we help to bring to Gambia. And we have a lot of success stories, both Rosamond and Alaji, success stories of the reintegration assistance we do provide. But that aside, like I said, under the Migrants as Messengers, this is a network of about, we started with 50 migrant returnees, right, who are in the Greater Banjul area. And we had to add another 10 who are based in Basse, and now few others also in all the administrative regions in this country. So what we try to do with Migrants as Messengers volunteers is that we work with them under the MAM project, which is completely theirs. But IOM just facilitates the process. But Migrants as Messengers is a project that is being implemented by the migrants themselves in terms of the concepts of events, in terms of their implementation and all that. So we have a very good relationship with all the migrant returnees we are in touch with, but more importantly, those under the Migrants as Messengers project. So I think it's been really beneficial and mutual. The relationship we have hasn't only been that these volunteers volunteer to go to communities and societies to sensitize the people about the dangers of irregular migration and provide alternatives to safe migration. But also, under the Migrants as Messengers initiative, some of these volunteers receive quite a lot of training opportunities. We provided training for them. We provided a subset of training on various issues, on the psychosocial support training. We provided training on photography and videography. We provided training on English language, on drama skills. So the list goes on. And I think with this, we've seen impressive results because volunteers are now using some of these tools and requisite knowledge they've gained throughout these training processes to positively influence their colleagues, their peers, and other potential migrants who are out there in need of these services.
Yeah, that takes me to my second question. That is, do you really help every migrant returnee, or you have specific migrant returnees that you target and will help?
So this is a very important question. It basically depends, but our work mainly focuses on migrant returnees who we help to bring back, right? Because you understand that IOM works with projects, right? And some of these projects would have to have their own limitations as well. So under the ETF project, which is helping to return migrants who are stranded to Gambia and also provide this reintegration assistance, only targets individuals who were helped to come back to Gambia through IOM support. So these are individuals we work with. But that's only for that project, for that service. But our work, our services, cuts across, right? We provide our services, like I said, our awareness raising services and our training opportunities, right? Cuts across. Sometimes some of our training beneficiaries or some of the beneficiaries of our interventions migrant returnees who are not necessarily those who were helped to come to Gambia by IOM.
Okay. Rosamond, I'll come to you. And the aspect that we are going to talk about is about the advice that you have. You're a migrant returnee, you went through a lot. So what advice would you render to migrant returnees and of course potential migrants who are, who wants to embark on this journey?
Okay. First of all, my advice to my fellow returnees, that going there and coming doesn't mean you're a failure. We are 10 times stronger than those that have not been there, because they say, he who feels it knows it. We already have what it takes to improve society. So let's know that discrimination is part of our work, because in order for us to achieve what we want to achieve, in order for us to make Gambia what we are aspiring for out there, if we want to bring it to our own land, we have to don't focus on what people say, because if you focus on what people say, you cannot be who you want to be. But just take it that what people say are the things that motivate you, inspire you to really stick to your goal and do what you want to do, so that they will really know that you are not here back because of you're a failure, but you are here back to improve on the facility and the service in the Gambia. And also, to potential migrants that want to take upon this journey, I'll tell them no, because of the dangers involved. You might be saying it that it's not because it does not work for you, it will not work for me. No, it cannot work, no matter anyhow you look at it. Let's just grab the opportunities we have here. We have Techifi, we have YEP, we have other institutions that are helping us to build up our capacity. So let's grab it and make use of it. The Englishman used to say, make hay while the sun shines. Because if we lost the opportunity now, we can never gain it. So let's just make use of it.
How is this advocacy, this whole initiative, how is it really helping you as an individual?
Oh, I would say it's really helping me. Because it's making me to connect with other youth. More especially connect with my fellow migrants that are feeling down. It's making me to boost their morale. It's making me to meet with them, talk with them, sensitize them, and also meet with some of their families, because some migrants are facing discrimination family-wise. And I believe you me or not, the family are not helping. Because if you discriminate us, then you are putting us backward. But if you embrace us for who we are and help us to stand on our feet, then we can be who you are hoping for us to be. So this MAM project is really helping me, because without this project, I cannot meet with them. But because of this project, I'm meeting with them and also getting chance to sensitize others about the risk involved in this migration. As my team and goal since I came back from Libya was to be an ambassador for change. And I will not relent. I will keep doing it till I reach my goal.
Inspirational. She will not relent. I think that is the that is really the thing that people should really take. They should not give up no matter the circumstances or situation they're involved in. That takes me to Mr. Kamara. Mr. Kamara, you're involved in this advocacy and of course raising awareness with regards to migration and of course irregular migration, to be specific. So through your advocacy or activities, how are you able to help migrants and potential migrants?
Okay, I think like doing advocacy, it is very important for what we went through, because we are example, you understand, because for us, like before we leave this country, we don't have any information about this journey. So I think that it will really help, like when we talk to especially like potential migrants, like and returnees, like when we talk to them, they will really understand what are the risks involved in this journey. You understand? So like for me, I think it is very important. Like when I came back, to keep quiet like that, because of like the risks involved, during when I was in Libya. You understand? So I think that it will be not wise like me coming like to sit like that without talking to my fellow Gambians. You understand? Because for me, what I believe in me, when we lose one Gambian, means we lose everything. So that's why like the Gambians, when I take the journey, especially like the majority, I think that in Libya I can say that we are all Gambians, because how small Gambia it is. So like when we all keep right like that, I think that we are creating danger in the country. So when all of this when the youths left, in numbers, so we are losing many things. So that's why we came in the ground, talk to the youths, talk to the returnees, so that they will understand. Because at the end of the day, there are local opportunities in this country. So we need to tell them that, because as my fellow women mentioned it here, yep, you have the yep and all those things. So especially in terms of skills and business are here. So because when you check in the Gambia here, we are dominated in all these sectors, So when we come out, to grab it out, I think that, we will make it something here in the Gambia different than taking the back way. So for me, I can say that it's a no-go area. So like when we all believe that we can make it here, but we need to start small and grow big.
Interesting. That will take me to Mr. Jabai. Mr. Suare Jabai, again, to you. We know that you help a lot of migrant returnees in this country to help them integrate in society and give them job, create so many job opportunities for them. But one would ask, how long does it take, for you to render these services or assistance to these migrant returnees? As you know, these people are sometimes frustrated, they are down, and all they need is to be helped quickly, as soon as possible.
So the process doesn't necessarily take a lot of time. I mean, it takes just a reasonable amount of time. So if you, I'm sure the two panelists I shared this session with would attest. Of course, it's an organization. I mean, you have to go through processes, right, and principles at the end of the day. But to be quite honest, fairly enough, I think when these migrant returnees are in the Gambia, when they return, they are taken through an orientation process where their medical situation is being checked, and they provide them with other information also that they need to know. So apart from that, it takes a matter of weeks before they would invite them to the office. And then subsequently, if all the processes are exhausted, then they will receive their support. That's for those who already received their support as well. So it doesn't really take time. And just as Alaji said, we are of the view that there are quite a lot of alternatives in the Gambia that young people can tap, right? And IOM as an institution is aware of this, and that is why we are promoting these alternatives, right? We are ensuring that we promote these alternatives. Just very recently, under one of our projects, we have assigned a consultant to develop a booklet for us. And this booklet will have opportunities and alternatives to irregular migration that are available for young people. The initial one was in West Coast region. So because of the success, because of the impressive results, now we have expanded it to not only West Coast, but all the other regions across the country. So this is a one-stop shop for young people in the Gambia who are migrant returnees and even potential migrants to basically get through, with just a single booklet, all the opportunities that exist in terms of jobs, in terms of training, in terms of other opportunities as well, internship and all others. So also at this point, it's important to highlight that IOM in principle is an organization that promotes migration, safe migration. So we are of the view that people should migrate, and for a nation to grow, its people should migrate. They should move to another country. I mean, obviously some. And this, we believe, promotes socio-economic development for any country. And when you look at the Gambia, you have a lot of non-Gambians who are playing critical role in the country's development. Let's look at, for example, our health sector. You have a lot of non-Gambians there. Let's look at our business sector. Let's look at, all the other sectors across the country. And vice versa, we have a lot of Gambians who are abroad doing extremely well, right? Enhancing businesses in other countries. Say, for example, Gambians, working as teachers in Europe, in America, in West African countries, Gambians working as doctors, as nurses, as business persons. So it's across the board. So we think migration is a good thing. In fact, it's a fundamental human right for everyone who wants to migrate. But our point is that this should be done in a humane and orderly manner. So this is what we've been preaching, and we've seen quite a lot of improvements. So when you look at it, you realize that Gambians, especially young people, they hardly seek these opportunities. For example, when you look at migrant returnees who travel, for example, Rosamond and Alaji, if you ask them now, have you tried to use the right means to travel before you embark on the irregular journey? The chances are that they will tell you no. So majority of those who embarked on the irregular journey to Europe, they don't try the right way. They don't say, for example, you want to go to Italy or Germany. There are embassies here. They've never tried to get a visa or something. So we are trying to promote this as well, to provide adequate information as necessary as possible to young people, so that it would make their safe migration journeys very easy, and provide right information that they can need. For example, in that assignment I talked to you about, looking at the alternatives to irregular migration, you realize that there are step-by-step information on what one needs. For example, if you want to travel to, let's say, UK or Germany, where is the embassy? Do you need a visa or not? Where is the embassy located? What are their telephone numbers? What are their emails? What do you need in order to get a visa? So these are information that were a bit lacking in terms of these alternatives. And I think with our work, we're trying to popularize them. We're trying to lay emphasis on them so that young people can embrace safe migration. But also, for those who are here, will also embrace opportunities, job opportunities, training opportunities that are available for young people in this country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suare Jabai. From Mr. Suare Jabai, now we will take our first break, then we will come back for the continuation of the program. Do stay tuned and don't go away.
Unite and fight the virus. Don't fight those who survive the virus. Stigma is only gonna divide us. If you unite together, yes, God will guide us. It don't matter if you black or white. COVID-19 don't discriminate. It don't matter if you are brown, you have to know COVID-19 is colorblind.
So don't attach it to ethnicity, so location. Stigma leads to constant feeling of exclusion. Discrimination can prevent people from seeking treatment. So do not label people. Don't put labels on everything. Don't tear down each other. Better look out for one another. COVID already took a lot from us. Let's keep our humanity and be just. Don't tear down each other. Better look out for one another. COVID already took a lot from us. Let's keep our humanity and be just. Sunyu Japante, neka pen na corona bidu fi Japante, fi nunyu yakamte. Stigmatized nit pipe ko yep di down ite, then wara sopante. Polo anda boku banye he hante, jangora bi jombul ken, demol totally guys sumayo bante.
Nany he jangoro bi, win he ko am jangoro bi. Stigma dinata nit no bu febaram, degalale wal jangoro fi. Nany he jangoro bi. Ko am jangoro bi stigma dinata nit no bu febaram degalale wal jangoro fi.
Don't tear down each other. Better look out for one another. COVID already took a lot from us. Let's keep our humanity and be just. Don't tear down each other. Better look out for one another. COVID already took a lot from us. Let's keep our humanity and be just. Lopitando kulal, Tony Yolela. Ibetola, Sultan Intelifoja tol sikendea. Lopitando kulal, Belieni yolela. Ibetola, Sultan Intelifoja tol sikendea. Alnge bunya, kana borila. Anyanta kanyinya, kana borila. Alnge bunya lewo, kana borila. Anyanta kanyinya lewo, kana gorilla. Don't tear down each other. Better look out for one another. COVID already took a lot from us. Let's keep our humanity and be just. Don't tear down each other. Better look out for one another. COVID already took a lot from us. Let's keep our humanity and be just.
Migrants as messengers.
Hello and welcome back. This is the Migrants as Messengers show coming to you on iAfrica TV, and I am Julde Jaisware. Many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Now for the continuation of the program, we were talking about migration and how important it is. And Sekou Suare Jabai did mention that not IOM, they are not against migration, but what they are against is irregular migration. But it is important for everybody to migrate, as it will improve the socio-economic impact of this country. It will really boost the country's economy and then help people to people to really develop as a nation. With that, we will start with Mr. Kamara. Mr. Kamara, welcome back. So, okay, advocacy awareness, individual, now that you are a migrant returnee, but you're contributing towards the advocacy of, what is happening with regards to migration and all that. Now tell us, how effective is MAM, advocacy?
Yeah, like, it really, have some effective change, like, what we are all looking for is change. Like people not to use the regular route to the back way. Like since we started this thing in 2018, advocating, on irregular journey, so like we see, how the numbers, is going down, before, because before, like people are going like in huge number, but nowadays, we see a different case, than before, because of like going to the communities, talking to the elders, to the potential migrants and returnees, and like the authorities, like talking to them, they will really understand, what is going on. on irregular migration. So now so many people they change. When you talk to them, they will say that at the beginning there were a lot of people, they will say that I will take the journey. But when you already sensitize them, tell them what are the local opportunities exist here, so much of them they say that they decided to stay. So we see that definitely it have some impact on our work, definitely.
So do you want to say that there is a change in perception when it comes to migration, especially irregular migration?
Yeah, definitely.
That's very good. Rosamond, IOM, they have been contributing immensely towards the integration of migrants in this country, creating job opportunities, making sure that migrants are really stable again to to work again, to get their balance back. But then what are some of the areas that you think IOM really needs to improve on?
Well, as of now, they are doing better.
Okay.
But if you will say improvement, I will say in terms of checking the relationship between the migrant and the family members.
Okay.
Because that's the thing that is really putting the returnees down. Because if you can help the returnees to get back on their feet, but time to time, if you do a regular checkup, just like when you have your child, you send them to school, you don't just leave them there. Time to time, you check on their notes to see that they are really doing what you're expecting from them. So if they do that, that will also help. That will make the returnees have confidence to belong, because as they just come, you help them with their reintegration, they don't have all that self-confidence they need to face society, because society play a huge role in our day-to-day activity. Because the way society see things, sometimes it pulls us back. And sometimes the way society receives us gives us hope. So if they improve on that aspect, that will be much better.
All right. So they definitely need to improve on that. I'm glad that Sekou Suare Jaba is here, who is the COM officer and also awareness creation, who is playing a pivotal role in this aspect. So Sekou Suare Jaba, you heard what Rosalind said. You need to improve on the area of between the migrant returnees and of course their family members. So what other initiative are you coming up with in making sure that these migrants are actually integrated in society?
So we're doing quite a lot. Rosamond has a very good suggestion. I think our other units, more explicitly the migration and health unit, our psychosocial team, I think they've also been doing quite a lot in terms of working with not only returnees in that aspect, but also their family members and all that. So in terms of migrants as messengers, we of recent have started, we do usually have this monthly meetings where volunteers come together to have their meetings, and now we have designed this activity a bit. Instead of going to meet in a neutral ground, now we are trying to organize these meetings in the homes, traditional homes of these volunteers themselves. So we started that in March, and that has been really going on well. So volunteers would have to go to meet in one of their peers' house, and there's interaction among themselves, but more importantly with the family members of the host volunteer. That has been a very good synergy that helped a lot. So the training, the meetings we do have, and we've seen great testimonies coming from usually the host, but more importantly, the family members of the host who, I remember one of them said, my family usually see me going out for awareness activities, but they don't really know what it is about and who are my peers in this process. But now that the volunteers are right here in my house and interacting with my family, that has also helped to boost my morals more. And for the family to also continue providing me the support, the conducive environment to continue the work they're doing. I think some of these issues we'll try to improve on them more. And also, like I said, Migrants as Messengers is a project for migrant returnees. So quite a lot of the ideas we implement are originally from them. So we will work with them to ensure that we bring in more ideas that will incorporate their family members more in our activities.
Okay, now with migrants that you help, do you at any point in time encounter where you have encounters where you help a migrant and that migrant is not really making best use of some of these opportunities? Like, for example, you give the person grant to start up a business, but the person is not making best use of that opportunity. Are you encountering that, and how were you able to solve those issues?
So we actually have few issues like that, and what is really, but notwithstanding, our success stories in this reintegration assistance far outweighs the, these other challenges we do encounter. So at IOM we have a monitoring and evaluation unit. So this M&E unit would work with these individuals with providing support so that they can, but even before that, we do provide support in terms of capacity building on how do you manage your reintegration assistance ideas. But more importantly, we do also have an M&E team, monitoring and evaluation team, where we don't only stop at giving you giving you support in terms of setting up what you want to set up. So, for example, in the case of business, or in the case of scholarship and all that, so we don't only stop at giving it to you. We also work with you throughout your foundation process so that you can stand up on your feet. Our monitoring and evaluation team would do periodic visits to your project sites to see what you're doing, what the improvements you've been making, the challenges, make recommendations with you and work with you in order to improve on them. So this has been an impressive tool in ensuring that some of these services, the support we provide to volunteers are really honest and put into good use.
Very well. Now, Mr. Kamara, coming to you, your story involved because you were frustrated, and the frustration was between you felt like it was between the two governments. It's because of it has to do with bilateral relations between the two governments. So, what do you think this current government is supposed to do, and they are not doing, which is causing a lot of young people to embark on the irregular migration?
Yeah, I think that what they are supposed to focus, to create the environment, like creating the environment, it will really give us hope, so that we can stay here in the country. I think that the government need to come and play a big role, to create the environment. You understand? For me, what I think where they to start, they have to make a study, for the Gambia here, for us, we are really dominated, in all sectors, in the business and in time of skills and all those things, So I think that, they need to study this thing so that they can create the environment for the youth, because why people, youths are leaving, is because of something, because some of them, they will tell you that because, they don't have a better job, they don't have a better payment, you understand? Some of them, they complain, they don't have a job, and all those things, So I think that, in terms of creating the environment, it will really help, so that, when you started this thing, it will really play a quota in nation building, Yeah.
But oftentimes, these stakeholders will say that Gambian youths are lazy. I mean, the vice president did mention that few months ago, and of course he was blasted on social media and all that. People feel like the youths in this country are lazy. They don't want to engage themselves in certain, jobs. Is that the case?
No, I consider laziness is everywhere in this world. You understand? Anywhere you go in this world, you find lazy people. You find those who know that they are very, they are very strong. So you cannot point to say everybody is lazy, because really some people are doing very well. But we're talking here on the majority. If the majority are lazy, we need to speak out. So that if they are not, if the majority are doing very well, so that we can boost the other whom that they are lacking behind. So that's why I say that let them come, and create the environment. When they create the environment, this is Gambia. You understand? Yeah.
So if they create the enabling environment, young people will stay back and then work.
Really.
All right.
Really.
Seku Suare Jaba, I will just turn to you. Still on the government. Of course, we know that the government and IOM, they have a cordial relationship. As a result, that is why they're operating here. But what is government's contribution towards these migrants who are, repatriated back home, and then they need to reintegrate in society?
So it's a complex issue, and I think government has played their part in terms of ensuring that a conducive environment is created for stakeholders like IOM and others to operate. And IOM as an institution cannot operate, individually. So most of the works we do are in collaboration with the government, and so as other institutions as well who are providing similar support to migrant returnees. So I think the relationship between the migrants and the government has been cordial as well through various government arms. They've also been providing support, training, and other types of support to migrant returnees. And I think this has also incredibly helped migrant returnees in their quest to reintegrate back in the society. So, through collaboration with the International Organization for Migration, the government now has a migration policy, and this will basically help in the decision-making process or in the administration of migration and migration-related issues in the Gambia. So I think, by and large, it has been really incredible.
Okay. Rosamond, I will turn to you now. That is some of the challenges that you have been encountering as a migrant returnee.
Well, some of the challenges more like is centered around discrimination. Because like anywhere you present yourself, the fact that you are a returnee, worst of it a female, there is this stigma attached to it. People don't know what you've been through. They just have a broad term for everything. And those things hurt a lot. But being me, and not everybody might be strong as I am. Sometimes you might say things, the best I can do, if I want you to know that I am hearing you, I'll tell you, it's not written on my face, neither my back. So you can say things while I implement, and later you run back to me for benefit. That's what I used to say. Because discrimination, you cannot run away from it. You face it anywhere you go.
Very well. Mr. Kamara, are you also encountering the same, struggle or challenge like Rosamond?
Yeah, definitely, because like, especially on our communities, like we face this, the same scenario, like discriminating people, So these are things which that, like we put strategies on it, because like in the beginning when I came back in the country here, like especially like, it's not all of my friends, but some of them, So I said to myself, like, let me put my strategy. So when they started talking, I put it in a joke. You understand? In a joke content. So that's what I do. But at the end of the day, when I started saying my stories, a lot of people, they have sympathy. So they feel what I was saying, So a lot of them, they used to ask me, so this is, all of these things, you passed through it. I tell them, yeah. So these are the things. So now they started, changing, So for others like migrants, especially like returnees who come back facing this thing, the same thing, like what we did when we know that you face the same thing in your communities. So we try to talk to your family members and friends. You understand? Because of to discriminate somebody, I think that it can lead somebody to even get crazy or not to come up in life. You understand? So these are the things we
lose their self-esteem.
So these are the things we talk to their friends, talk to their family, and talk to him. So at the end of the day, like we see changes, So
Okay.
these are the strategies we do.
Okay. Now you're telling us that these migrants, if they happen to be discriminated, they should really come out and speak, to people about their stories. Let them not be ashamed of telling people their stories.
Yeah, but I think that like
coming out to speak your story would really helped. You understand? Because people will understand what you went through. You understand? So coming out, it really helped, you know, especially for me. You understand? Coming out, you know, it really helped me. You understand? So it's my job, and I love the job. You understand? And I believe that, you know, right now, you know, there's no one who can discriminate you. If you can talk till here to up to tomorrow, you know, you can touch me because I'm really strong for what I went through.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Jabai, coming to you. You know, with all the support, international support and of course national support, you know, all geared towards making sure that there is an end, they put an end to irregular migration. You know, do you think that in coming years, you know, the issue of irregular migration will be a thing of the past?
I think there are, I mean, looking at the trend, you would realize that there are high hopes that we will see significant difference in terms of the number of individuals migrating irregularly. When you look at statistics, you will realize that the number of people who were migrating in terms of figures has significantly reduced. And I think I would like to attribute this to a variety of issues, but more importantly, the work IOM and partners have been doing in terms of ensuring that we raise awareness, we inform people about not only the dangers associated with irregular migration, but also opportunities available for them to tap, and also right channels in terms of making use of safe migration. So I think if these things if this trend continue, you know, in the coming years, we'll significantly see huge changes in terms of the number of people migrating. And like I said before, our strategy has not only been information sharing. You know, we've realized that in order to change behaviors, in order to influence behaviors, you don't only need to provide information. Information is not enough. And that is why at IOM we are very particular in terms of incorporating communications for development strategies in all our awareness raising programs. And this has really impacted because with a Comms for Development strategy, we're able to reach out to a lot of communities, right? Collaborate with them in order to find lasting solutions to these problems. And in this, we don't only provide information, but we also work with them in terms of changing their behaviors, their perceptions, and their attitude towards some of these realities. And I think this has been a milestone in terms of helping us and partners reach out to our goal, which is basically to ensure that we combat irregular migration and promote safe and orderly migration.
Rosalind, finally, it looks like time is not on our side, but finally, what would you tell to migrant returnees, particularly those who are yet to even go, but they have it in their mind that I really want to go, and you know, but go by any means, whether it is regular or irregular. I just want to go through the back way, or I just want to go and seek for greener pastures. What advice would you give to them?
Well, the advice I will give to them is like, let them not rush things. The ones that want to go through the regular means, it's fine. But before going, you have to be somebody. Because if you are nobody, if you go there, you end up being the street. Those are the people that we are having information that they are involved in drugs or other things. So like you have to be somebody before taking a step. And those that want to go the irregular way, I'm advising them that that is not safe. It may either cost them losing their life or coming back with some mental problem, or when they come back, they cannot fit in society. So let's just make use of the opportunity we have here and build Gambia to what we want it to be. Because if Gambia is developed, I see no reason why we are craving to go this irregular way. Because we can make it to suit our convenience. What we are seeing out there that we are aspiring for, we can make it happen here.
We can make it happen here.
Just to add on to what Rosamond said, and I think as we talk about the push and pull factors, I think quite a lot of this are influenced by the society where we all live in. Of course, government has a role to play, but in my view, quite a lot of these factors that motivate individuals to travel are societal issues. For example, you know, our society tends to encourage irregular migration, say for example at the family level and at community level. You know, people see potential, individuals who are here and they haven't gone to the back way, people see them as failures, right? They tend to value those who are abroad more than individuals who are here. And we've seen scenarios like that in individual homes, in societal gatherings and all that. For example, when you go to naming ceremonies and marriage ceremonies, you know, you hardly see elders converge and pray, you know, offer prayers for young people who are here. But all the time they offer prayers for young people who are in abroad and all that. So this, including all the aspects, has really contributed in terms of influencing people to migrate. So I think in order to combat irregular migration, we have to change our perceptions and our behaviors towards irregular migration. We shouldn't use that the end justifies the mean approach, because it wouldn't help in this case. People should start recognizing irregular migration as a no-go area, no matter what your situation at the country of origin is. No condition, absolutely no condition, worth dying across the sea. Absolutely no condition in your country of origin, Gambia for example, there's no condition that really worth an individual embarking on the irregular journey. So this goes to show that we need to be, we need to embrace the opportunities we have in the Gambia as a country, but more importantly, ensure that if we want to travel, we use the right ways that are in the frameworks of rules and regulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Java. Now finally to Mr. Kamara. What would be your closing statement?
Yeah, my closing statement could be have to,
To the youth, like taking the back way. I think everybody have the right to travel, but travel safely. So this is what we say. So let us use the good opportunity on the, what we have here in the Gambia, so that we can play on as quota owners and building. So this is what I have to tell the youth. Let them focus, let them see their country first. Taking the back way, is another thing. It's a big risk, let them stay and work. Thank you.
That was Alaji Kamara, migrant returnee, and of course Rosamond Erika Jensen and Sekou Suare Java, ICOM officer, and of course awareness creation officer at the IOM. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Julde. The pleasure is ours to be here.
Thank you. Well, viewers, we have come to the end of today's show, which is Messengers, Migrants as Messengers. We will come your way next week, the same time, the same place. Stay tuned and do have a wonderful day.